We're always taught to be kind to everyone, to put others before ourselves, right? But has anyone ever warned you that too much kindness can be dangerous? We live in a world where generosity isn't always returned, where some people give and keep on giving until they have nothing left, financially, emotionally, and sometimes even physically. Can kindness actually put your own life at risk? Yes, and you might be shocked by what happens when you're too nice. Today, I'll reveal 8 hidden dangers of being overly kind and 4 powerful ways to stop people from taking advantage of you. But before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so more people like you can break free from the trap of endless giving. Let's move on to number 1. You will have too high of hopes for people. The Stoics said that we should accept things as they are and not depend on what other people do to make us happy. Giving, without asking too much in return, keeps you from being disappointed and helps you practice emotional separation, giving you a calmer mind. Whether we are aware of it or not, it's hard for us to be fully selfless when we give. When we give everything we have, we expect everyone else to do the same when we need something important. Though you've gotten people so used to having everything done for them that they'll take it for granted. They assume you can handle everything in their lives and yours, especially your own. Because if you don't take care of your own, why would you take care of other people's? In reality, your hopes of reciprocity won't be met, and you'll end up feeling disappointed, tired, angry, sad. Still, if we look at it objectively, people aren't letting you down. They're just doing what you should be doing, taking care of their own tasks. Which leads us to point number 2. Your goals will not be taken into account. The Stoics said that it's important to live by reason and virtue, to set limits, to put our own responsibilities first. If we want to stay in balance and not lose our identity, if you put everyone else's needs before your own, you might be running away from something inside you, something that hurts and scares you. How do you feel when you spend the weekend alone, or come home every day knowing no one is there to greet you? If you're constantly busy with other people's problems just to escape your own, the blow will be twice as hard, because sooner or later, you'll have to face yourself. And on top of that, you'll start resenting the very people you're helping. Self-care is one of the most important parts of being healthy. Before you can help others feel better, you need to make sure you are happy, spoiled, well cared for. That is, never give someone a chocolate unless you first really enjoyed one yourself. Similarly, don't offer to clean a friend's house until you've cleaned your own and watched a good movie. The rest of the world comes after you. People will only expect you to give them something. The Stoics say that real worth comes from acting in a way that is good and logical, not just doing what other people want. Moderation in giving in a balanced way helps you stay in charge of your actions. It keeps you from forming habits that hurt your mental health. You've heard it all your life, people are creatures of habit. This couldn't be more true. People are wired to adapt to a pattern, a way of life, a comfort zone. And this means that if you're always giving, the people you help will expect you to give them something all the time. You'll lead them into their comfort zones, where they no longer have to do many of their responsibilities because you will be there to do them. If you don't value yourself, don't expect others to remind you. No one is likely to look you in the eyes and tell you to think more about yourself. At least, don't expect this kind of empathy from the people you help, because if they did, it would cost them a lot in their lives. People will think you are weak and treat you that way. Stoicism teaches us to work on being strong, to be in control of ourselves, by setting limits and practicing self-discipline. We show others that we are committed to our own responsibilities and ideals, and this earns respect instead of making us look weak. If you help others too much, over time, you might be seen as an expert in the area you work in. But you might also be making the exact opposite impression. When you don't set limits, people start to see you as weak. Just like the employee who always obeys the boss, no matter what. People will come to you to get rid of their responsibilities because they know you won't say no. But the moment you do say no, something interesting happens. They feel something for you that they never thought they would. Respect. You'll attract people who only come to you when they need something. Stoicism teaches us the importance of wisdom, of being smart about who we help. With self-control and perspective, we can tell the difference between real friends and those who just want to take advantage. And if you think about it logically, this isn't so surprising. Most people don't invite their employees to have coffee or drinks with them. What's happening to you makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's fair. So, you need to learn how to protect yourself with the strategies I'll share at the end. You will start to feel invisible. The Stoics believed in self-respect, that we must value ourselves first before expecting it from others. If you constantly put other people's needs ahead of yours, you will slowly become invisible to them. They will stop asking about your struggles, your dreams, your well-being, because in their eyes, you are just a tool, a machine that's always available, and they won't even realize they're doing it. You trained them to see you this way. And that's why, when you finally need help, no one will be there. Not because they don't care, but because they never had to think about your needs before. So, do you really want to live like this? You will be easily manipulated. Stoicism warns against losing control of our own actions. By thinking rationally and setting boundaries, we prevent others from controlling our emotions and decisions. The truth is, some people will recognize your kindness and use it for their benefit. They'll test your limits, see how much they can take before you finally snap. If you don't know how to say no, if you feel guilty when you refuse to help, they'll exploit that guilt, and you'll find yourself in a vicious cycle where they always win and you always lose. You'll lose yourself. The Stoics taught that true happiness comes from living according to your values and purpose. If you spend your whole life trying to please everyone, you'll wake up one day and realize you have no idea who you are. What do you like? What are your dreams? What makes you happy? When was the last time you made a decision that was just for you? The saddest part is, you won't even be angry at the people who drained you. You'll be angry at yourself for not protecting your time, for letting yourself fade away. So how do you fix this before it's too late? Now that you understand the consequences of being too kind, it's time to change the way you approach life. Let me tell you the 4 ways you use to protect yourself. The most important of all, set boundaries. Seneca said, "The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires." You don't need to give everyone your time, money, or energy. Decide how much you're willing to give, and no more. And if someone crosses that line, cut them off. You always find yourself doing this, but you have to stop explaining yourself. When you say no, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Just say, "I can't." The more you explain, the more they will try to convince you. A simple, "No, I can't," is all they need to hear. And if they get angry, that's their problem, not yours. It might sound like you know it already, but I know you don't practice it. You only give what you can afford to lose. If helping someone drains you emotionally, financially, or mentally, you're giving too much. Help only when it doesn't harm you. Last but not the least, you should always test people before you help them. Before you go all in for someone, give them something small first. See how they respond. Do they show gratitude? Do they give back in return? Or do they expect more without effort? This simple test will save you years of pain. So here's the gist of everything I told you. Being kind is a strength, but being too kind can be a weakness. If you don't know how to set limits, the Stoics believed in balance, helping others while protecting yourself. So ask yourself, am I living by my own values or just trying to please everyone else? The answer to that question will decide the rest of your life.